And good morning. It's 7:01 on this Tuesday, June 4th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman & Company.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. Here on a Tuesday morning, June the 4th, we're glad to have you with us. And, of course, each Tuesday, we're on the air for Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. Tracy Pope is here. Tracy, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
I don't think you would miss unless it was absolutely necessary.
Only when I'm on special assignment.
Tracy is the Director of Community Relations for Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital, and 2 Tuesdays each month we have a medical professional that she brings, and today is no exception. But before we get to that, is there anything you want to talk about first?
Well, I just want to celebrate the successful Lebanon at Noon Rotary Golf Tournament yesterday. It went to benefit many nonprofit organizations, but specifically Wilson Rides, which I'm a board member of that organization, and we had great support, wonderful weather. It got a little cloudy at the end, but I think everyone had a great day, and I know that we all appreciate everyone that sponsored and came out and played and supported for such a great cause.
Well, the Rotary clubs here do a great job in giving back to the community, both of them, and I guess those in Mount Juliet as well. I'm not as familiar, but
well, I'm a member of the Mount Juliet Noon Rotary, so I'm very familiar with the Mount Juliet Rotary clubs. They have
you're generous as well.
we all have a generous and serving heart, and that's the mission of a Rotarian, and it's a great organization to be a part of. Something really special about the Lebanon Noon Golf Tournament is recently they renamed it the Gwen Lanius Golf Tournament in his memory, and Miss Lanius was out there with us yesterday to celebrate and join in the fun.
I'm really glad you did that. I've known Gwen, actually sort of knew him in high school, but afterwards, and was a successful businessman here, musician. Mm-hmm. He gave of himself a lot at the pageants and playing the organ, I guess, piano, organ, whatever, for those, and I think it's only proper and fitting that we do this.
Absolutely. My husband, John, is the member of the Lebanon Noon Golf Tournament, so I was able to meet Gwen throughout the years, and it really was a special day yesterday.
That's great. All right. What else you got for us?
Yes. Well, today we have Dr. Hunter Hood. He is with Vanderbilt Orthopedics here in Lebanon, and we're excited to hear from him.
All right. Dr. Hunter Hood, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks, Coleman.
This is your second visit to Coleman & Company, and you have only been in Lebanon about a year?
Yeah, about a year. I started practice in September of 2023.
Well, I'm sure when you were here before, we asked you to tell us a little bit about yourself, but we want to hear it again this morning.
Absolutely. So I grew up right outside of Jackson, Mississippi, in a town called Brandon. And then I went to the University of Mississippi for my undergrad and med school education.
Also known as Ole Miss, right?
Hotty toddy.
Yeah, hotty toddy. And then I did my orthopedic residency training in New Orleans at Tulane. And then I did extra subspecialty training in hip replacement, knee replacement, revision joint replacement, and hip preservation for young patients with hip deformities.
What got you to Lebanon? I guess Vanderbilt, first of all.
Yeah, the job opportunity. It was the right community.
What got you to Vanderbilt?
So I grew up, my uncle worked for Vanderbilt for a long time, and so I grew up coming here, and it was just the right fit practice-wise. I trained at some very esteemed institutions, and I knew I wanted to be at a place that had the resources to take the best care of patients.
At what point in your life did you decide this is what you wanted to do, your profession, the medical profession even?
Yeah, so I think when I was in graduate school, my father was diagnosed with cancer, and I spent a lot of time at the hospital, and I took a random job in the hospital in the emergency department and realized I liked that environment. And then I got into medical school and just kind of carried on from there.
Well, you could have chosen other things, but to be a surgeon and a particular type surgeon, anything in particular that pointed you in that direction?
Yeah, I mean, so I played college sports, and that's kind of the stereotype is that they all become orthopedic surgeons. In reality, I went into medical school saying I would never become an orthopedic surgeon. And then, of course, I did all of my clinical rotations. And you just find in orthopedics it's extremely gratifying. Patients come to you with a distinct problem, and there's great solutions for many of these problems, and it's very gratifying to see the patients progress and get back to their level of activity.
Well, before we get more specific, maybe another couple of personal questions here. Are you married, have family?
I am, yeah, I'm married. My wife and I have a dog. We're hoping to have kids here soon. But yeah, we've been married now. We just had our second anniversary.
Oh, okay. So, all right, you're just getting started.
Yeah, we're just getting there. We're just getting there.
Where do you live, if I may ask?
I live in Davidson County, right on the edge. There.
So it's sort of a commute here.
Yeah,
but
it is.
You are coming east when everybody else is going west, I imagine.
Oh yeah, it's an easy commute. We always we've lived in New Orleans, St. Louis, and now the Nashville area, and we always live as close to my wife's job as possible. So I'm the commuter in the family, at least for now. Eventually, I think I'm going to win out here.
All right. And you really started your practice here in September of last year. So
I did, yeah.
Not even here, a year hardly.
Correct.
June, July, August, 8 months maybe, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. What do you specialize? Do you specialize in one particular aspect for orthopedics?
Yeah, so predominantly hip and knee replacement surgery, and in particular, patients with complex hip and knee problems, and then patients who've had joint replacement surgeries, typically at other facilities where they've had an issue or a complication. And I kind of specialize in revision joint replacement surgery.
Well, the signs and symptoms of the more common types of knee pain, you see those? Talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. So younger patients are typically more sports-related injuries, commonly ligament injuries, knee sprains. There's a lot of congenital conditions that could contribute to that. And the older population, patients over the age of 50, 55, it's typically arthritis or degenerative meniscus tears and things like that.
Part of your job, I guess, is teaching, and especially if you can help somebody avoid some of this. How can you?
Yeah, so
you be more careful if you're playing sports, perhaps.
Yeah, I think one of the critical things is just maintaining your overall health, maintaining appropriate body weight. We have really great data in the United States from the last 20 years about the contribution of body weight to hip and knee arthritis. I think maintaining your a good baseline level of activity plays a big role in this. So, being willing to exercise at least a few times a week. And then in reality, just using good technique. If you're playing sports or exercising, things along those lines, it's critical that you do it in a biomechanical way that is optimal and limits injury.
I've wondered this. Are some people just more prone to, are some people just accident prone? They're gonna get hurt. They're gonna if they're an accident waiting to happen sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's the conditions that I treat. There are it's very common for younger females with hip dysplasia to have early hip problems that lead to labral tears and arthritis. We know that female athletes, where I trained at Tulane, we did a lot of research in female athletics, and they're probably 3 to 4 times more likely to have ACL injuries in their knees. So there's a lot of various components to increasing someone's risk for injury. And then genetically, a lot of patients if you have parents who have significant arthritis, you're likely more predisposed to having arthritis.
Maybe the ratio of do you see more younger people, more older people, or is it a pretty general mix?
A predominance of patients over 50, just because the vast majority of my patients are patients with arthritis. But then I do have a pretty large subsection of patients with young hip issues, young meaning between the ages of 18 and 35. Mm-hmm. That's a fairly common population. I did fellowship training at WashU in St. Louis, which is kind of the big center in the country for treatment of that. So I see a lot of patients from all around Middle Tennessee for those issues.
What are the treatments for some of the causes of knee pain?
So, early treatment options are typically, the most important thing is you diagnose what the actual problem is. That's the critical part. And then, Anti-inflammatory medications, injections play a role. We know that probably the best early option for treatment of hip and knee pain is actually physical therapy. Many patients get better with that without needing anything else.
Is surgery usually pretty much a means of last resort? I mean, is that one of the last things you wait, do everything else first if you can?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, there are rare exceptions, but for the vast majority of patients, going straight to a joint replacement is not the best option because surgery inherently comes with some risk. And we know, from years of studies that many patients get better with our non-operative treatment options.
Mm-hmm. Well, when surgery is necessary, is a stay in the hospital always required?
No, definitely not. It's patient dependent. And I think everybody who practices in any field of medicine now recognizes that you can't treat patients as a kind of one size fits all. For patients with fewer medical conditions, nearly 100% of those patients after a joint replacement surgery go home the same day.
So would that probably be more prominent with you, that the people that you even perform surgery on will go home the same day surgery?
Yeah, I would say, yeah, absolutely. Patients who've never had a joint surgery before, they're undergoing like a primary knee replacement or hip replacement. The vast majority of those patients go home the same day. But also patients who, have any unique medical conditions or things that warrant monitoring, we absolutely keep them in the hospital. We're not,
There are times when you really need to pretty much just monitor just to see what's going on, right?
Yeah. I mean, the goal for each patient is specific to them. The goal is for them to have the best outcome and do things in the safest manner. Our number one goal as a physician is to do no harm. If we're going to treat somebody, you got to live up to that expectation.
Right. Okay, let's take our break. Our program is presented by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. Tracy Pope is here and has brought Dr. Hunter Hood. He's Vanderbilt Orthopedics. Are you only here in Lebanon, or do you?
So my elective practice is almost 100% in Lebanon. Now, I have teaching responsibilities downtown and conferences downtown, but my clinics are all based in Wilson County and Mount Juliet and Lebanon.
All right. Well, very good. We'll talk more with Dr. Hood and Tracy in a moment after this on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Absolute Kubota, high performance, high horsepower, 0% financing is still a thing. Now is the best time to save on new Kubota L-Series tractors, rated number 1 for durability and owner experience in the U.S. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. They moved that wreck pretty quickly there on Vietnam. That's westbound at Conference Drive. However, it's still heavy coming in from Hendersonville there into Davidson County on Vietnam. That's at Conference Drive. It's loading up pretty good now on 24 westbound up through the Antioch area. In from Murfreesboro, Rutherford County. There's been a little bit of radar from time to time this morning out in the Mount Juliet area, Wilson County, in both directions there on I-40. Be careful. Hey, Princess Hot Chicken now offers Uber Eats delivery. Order online today at princesshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
The cozy warmth after coming in from a chilly, pink-cheeked morning walk. The perfect man cave temperature to kick back and watch the big game. When the weather turns cold, a new Rheem heating system will surround your family in total comfort. Are you feeling it? Rheem, the new degree of comfort.
Feel year-round comfort with a new HVAC system installed by the pros at Randy's Heat and Air. We're the local team you can trust. Call Randy's Heat and Air today at 615-237-3604.
Are you facing a challenging time that you need help navigating? Well, look no further than your local law firm of Kane & Crowell. At the offices of Kane & Crowell, our team of experienced attorneys is here to guide you through every step of the process. With a proven track record of success and a commitment to our clients and our community, look no further than the team at Kane & Crowell to fight for your rights and provide representation you deserve. 615-784-4800.
We continue here on this Tuesday morning. Our program presented by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. Again, Tracy Pope is with us, as she is on alternate Tuesdays here, the Director of Community Relations for Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital, along with Dr. Hunter Hood. He's Vanderbilt Orthopedics, right here in Lebanon. Anything you want to say before we get back to our conversation, Tracy?
No, I just, I'm in awe of Vanderbilt and our mission to bring highly specialized care to the communities that we serve, and Wilson County is a prime example. We just a few weeks ago had our final State of the County address, which was here in collaboration with the Lebanon Wilson County Chamber. We're celebrating 5 years as Vanderbilt Health, and then 45 years as a hospital, bringing service to this community. And, Vanderbilt has brought over $40 million of investment to Wilson County, and we're just continuing to invest and bring the highly specialized care closer to home.
All right. Well, Dr. Hunter Hood is with us this morning. Where is your office? I take it you have an office.
Yeah, we're at 1405 West Bador is our Lebanon clinic, right between the hospital and the ambulatory surgery center, right off Babb. And then we're in Providence Pavilion, our Mount Juliet clinic.
Okay, so you do spend some time in Mount Juliet as well.
I do.
And you mentioned teaching, I believe, and other that you actually go to downtown Nashville for it, over to Vanderbilt.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we do. We have in my division, we have 2 fellows who are seeking, extra subspecialty training, and then we have our residents, which we do labs. We have conference a couple of days a week. And,
all right, let's talk about arthritis.
Yeah.
And first of all, I guess it can affect people of almost any age, but you usually think of that as I do with older people. Is that necessarily true?
Yeah, that's probably the best way to think about it, because the most common form of arthritis is what we call osteoarthritis. That's just another way of saying that it's degenerative. It's just general wear and tear over time. There's an entire different subsection of arthritis, which are patients who you may know who have a diagnosis of rheumatoid arthritis or psoriatic arthritis. We see these advertisements on the news for medications all the time. That's a completely separate population, which tends to present with earlier joint pain at a younger age.
It's very common, isn't it?
Yes, osteoarthritis is extremely common, particularly as our lifespans extend. We see more and more of it.
Any cures other than surgery?
There's no real cure. The problem is the articular cartilage, which is the tissue in the joint that essentially allows for smooth motion. We know that once you lose it, there's no going back. It's like heart muscle. And we've spent decades trying to figure out how to reproduce it, and we just haven't found a good solution. So surgery for many people with severe arthritis is absolutely the best option.
So there's no treatments that can reverse arthritis?
There are no known treatments.
Yeah.
There's a lot of projects ongoing, and there are a lot of people in practice who tout certain things, such as stem cells and a lot of other products, but those do not have good scientific data to back them up.
What would you say the future looks like? Are we going to find something that at least is better, an improvement? I mean, been working on it a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I always think there's some reason for optimism. I mean, we have a lot of projects ongoing at Vanderbilt now where I'm involved with one where we're collecting bone specimens and doing analysis of patients with arthritis and patients with hip fractures and trying to determine out the unique features of the bone there.
If you don't do something about the arthritis, does it get progressively worse?
Typically,
yeah.
It tends to be a slow process. Now, we have routine screening regimens for patients to ensure that they don't develop what's known as rapidly progressive arthritis.
But you deal with this on almost a weekly basis, I take it.
Yeah, absolutely. The majority of my patients are patients who are seeking out joint replacement surgery. They've typically been seen by their primary care physician and received medications and had injections and things along those lines. And then, my other subset of patients seeking out joint replacements are usually younger patients with a diagnosis of rheumatoid arthritis, or they have some they were born with some kind of anomaly that has predisposed them to having arthritis at a really young age.
Well, tell us, if you will, about the robotic assisted joint replacements for knees.
Yeah, so there's a lot of technology throughout healthcare. I would say in the joint replacement world, one of the biggest contributors to a change in our practice has been robotic assistance. There's a bunch of different types of robots on the market. The data is pretty good for patients or surgeons who don't do a lot of joint replacement, that it is extremely useful and kind of reproducible.
This is something you do, right?
Yeah, so it's
something you had to learn.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we've got plenty of time. Tell us about how that was, because this surgery is so much different now than what it was 100 years ago, or at least when this became along, where you look at a monitor and actually do the surgery, right?
Yeah, so it's actually, most of them are just a robotic arm assistance. The actual, it's not like a general surgery robot where you are looking at a screen separately. In orthopedics, we're still actually looking at the extremity. Now, we have a screen with a monitor that gives us our information and feedback. The advantage of robotics or navigation technology in orthopedics is it increases the precision, and that has been validated for sure.
Have you ever seen this, Tracy?
I actually have, and it's very interesting. Yes. Yes.
I have not seen it, but I've heard about it, and it seems so amazing to me, the advancement that because of this, and of course it's less invasive for one thing, isn't it?
Yeah. So it certainly can be for certain patients with certain deformities and body habitus. It's absolutely advantageous because it allows you to reliably place the implants where they need to be placed.
Mm-hmm. Is you recommend it in most situations?
So I don't routinely use it for every patient. One of the reasons is it is expensive. It's a large cost burden in a health system that's expensive, and then also it does require a CT scan with radiation. So for a patient with just general arthritis, I don't routinely use it, but for patients with unique deformities, which is a lot of my patient population, we absolutely use it.
Well, what do you do if it's routine arthritis?
Then we use a typical standard instrumentation, and I also use a type of navigation technology, which is another subset. It's just less expensive and easier to use, and requires no actual radiation.
And the benefit of being part of the Vanderbilt system is Dr. Hood is so highly specialized with hip and knee replacement that not only does he receive referrals from our local community, Wilson County, surrounding counties, but also referrals that come into the Vanderbilt system as a whole. Like he said, he operates on very complex patients. So if a patient is referred from outside of Middle Tennessee or just the Middle Tennessee area, they will refer them to Dr. Hood, which is here in Lebanon and Mount Juliet, and then he'll have his surgery here at Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. And that is the goal of Vanderbilt. That is our focus, is to try to bring that highly specialized care to the communities that we serve, and not every single patient has to go downtown in Nashville in the traffic to the large acuity hospital.
Well, the bigger the challenge, it sounds like maybe the better you like it.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's, in reference to our talk about technology, I kind of trained at the ideal time where early in my residency, we did all of our joint replacements kind of manually. And then at the end of my residency, we incorporated technology. And then in St. Louis at Washington University, we had access to every technology available and every surgeon trained in a different way. So I've essentially used almost every piece of common technology out there. So it's really advantageous for training my residents and
You're just like a little child in a room full of all new toys to play with.
To some degree. That's, and that's a credit to Vanderbilt, I will say, is the fact that we have the resources to care for these complex patients. So we get sent from Knoxville, Chattanooga, from Kentucky and northern Alabama, patients every week who have unique problems, but fortunately we have the resources to care for them.
Well, I guess I'm a little bit in awe of your training and your ability to do all this new stuff and to be successful. And you've got people coming to you from other places here because of your expertise. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, that's kind of why I decided to come here. There's a role for someone who does what I do.
Well, you want to talk a little bit about the rest of your highly specialized team at Vanderbilt Orthopedics?
Yeah, absolutely. So particularly in our Lebanon office, it's myself and then Lance LeClaire, who's sports trained, captain in the Navy. He's the team physician for the Nashville Predators. Dr. LeClaire is extremely involved in research in the sports world throughout the country.
We've had him out here a time or two, haven't we? I remember him. Yes.
He's a great educator. He predominantly performs arthroscopic type procedures. He does a lot of ACL reconstructions and shoulder surgeries. And then Sean Patel is our hand specialist. Sean's unique in that he did a hand fellowship, but he also did 6 months of extra training in Australia in shoulder and elbow surgery. So he essentially is a full upper extremity specialist, and he does a lot of extremely complex hand and shoulder and elbow surgery.
How do you retain all of this? That's part of the job, I guess. But I mean, you go and train in a certain area, but then you got to remember that.
Yeah, I mean, that's why, they call, in medicine, they say you're in practice because, I mean, every day you literally show up and you're either relearning something or gaining a new skill or gaining experience. And, people always ask, that's why we have conferences every morning and, we learn from our colleagues. And that's the advantage of being in a setting like Vanderbilt where you have a group of extremely motivated physicians who want to get better every day.
Yeah.
And that's something, about Wilson County. We can't think of healthcare here in Wilson County as just a rural community because Vanderbilt has invested the highly specialized and trained physicians that, can't sustain their education and their skills with seeing one patient a week. So that's the benefit of being in the Vanderbilt system, being referred into this system, and then the transfer center sending them to the highly specialized physicians in their area. Yeah. And, it's not just the few people that you might see here in Wilson County, but at the same time, we have the benefit of having these highly trained, specialized physicians here for us to see if we need them.
All right, one final thing. Do you have to have a referral to see you?
You do not. No. Within our system, you can schedule with me. With many of the providers, you do need a referral. But my practice, I keep open slots where patients can schedule themselves into my clinic. All right. That allows them to get seen.
Dr. Hunter Hood, thank you so much for being with us this morning. And Tracy, we got about a minute. You can wrap it up if you will.
I think that we said it all today. We're just excited of the investments that Vanderbilt has made in our community, celebrating 45 years of service, 5 years into the Vanderbilt health system, and so thankful that we have physicians like Dr. Hunter Hood, Dr. Lance LeClaire, and Dr. Sean Patel that are highly specialized and trained here with us that can help at any time.
Well, I'm glad that we do get to feature you twice a month, and you get to bring one of these wonderful physicians out here who's dedicated so much of his life and time, and really you don't. It takes a while to get established, but then you're able to really serve the community where you are, and we appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Coleman.
All right. Well, that is part one of Coleman and Company, brought to you by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. We've got more, and hope you'll keep it right here, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford and the Works Vehicle Checkup. They'll make sure your vehicle is ready for any road. It's $59.95 up to 5 quarts oil, tax and disposal, tire rotation, and safety check. 1780 Franklin Road. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. An accident in Wilson County's got traffic tied up. It does have injuries in the Mount Juliet area. Mount Juliet Road going northbound there at Providence Parkway. Again, that's a crash with injuries in Wilson County. It's cranking up pretty good. 24 westbound up through the Antioch area coming in from Murfreesboro, Rutherford County. Prince's Hot Chicken now has an Uber Eats delivery. You can order online. They'll bring it to answer yet. Check it out at princesshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Welcome to Hearthside Senior Living, Lebanon's unique senior living community designed for seniors to age in place, all within a safe, comfortable, and Christian environment. Beautiful retirement homes designed for an independent lifestyle with maintenance-free living. Hearthside Senior Living also continues the excellent tradition of assisted living for those seniors who need additional services. Hearthside Senior Living, an independent retirement community and assisted living community, all on one campus in the heart of Lebanon. Call 615-443-1994 for a tour.
Where a patient starts their cancer care matters. And here, that means Vanderbilt Ingram Cancer Center, Wilson County. It's Vanderbilt's level care without making the drive to Nashville. From screening to diagnosis to treatment and recovery, patients can get all the care they need right here close to home. So now, having the best care team and most advanced treatment is closer than ever. Vanderbilt Ingram Cancer Center, making cancer care personal.
We'll have partly cloudy skies today with scattered showers and thunderstorms. Afternoon highs will be in the lower 80s. Tonight, scattered storms continue, lows around 70, and then more widespread showers and storms for our Wednesday, highs around 80. This weather forecast brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. With your Severe View forecast, I'm Storm Specialist Drew Richards.
We welcome you to part 2 of Coleman Company. It's a Tuesday, and Sean Dozier is here. Sean represents Hearthside Senior Living. He's their executive director. Comes here most Tuesdays, and when he's not, we talk about him.
Well, I appreciate you filling in for me last week, Coleman. I'm sure you did a great job. I was on special assignment. And I know you did a great job. I'll try to have a fill-in for me next time.
I think we made you the Hearthside.
Oh, good. Well, I need it. I need the publicity.
Well, if you're not familiar with Hearthside Senior Living, it's a retirement and assisted living community right here in Lebanon, Tennessee, at 215 Castle Heights Avenue North. Sean's been there for a while as executive director. How long?
6 years now.
6 years.
6 years, going on 6 years.
That don't seem like 6.
It really doesn't. I tell you what, we've had a lot going on in 6 years, but I've enjoyed it, and it's really been a blessing to me, as well as I think everybody that's been there. It's kind of been a good marriage, I think, and I've looking forward to many more years there. I was thinking on the way over here, of all the situations we have going on. Most of our residents are doing just fine, but we do have some residents that need assistance or need a little extra assistance. We have one who's in the renewal center in Carthage. She's getting her medication adjusted for her mental health, and she'll be back with us soon. Have another resident who got sick, and she's at a local rehab facility, community, getting rehabbed, and she'll be back with us soon, and we're looking forward to having her back. Have another lady who's in the independent living. She's 90 years old. She still lives independently, but she tripped over a rug and fell, and she's in a rehab, so she's getting stronger. She'll be back with us very soon. Then I have another lady who lives on Old Rome Pike, who's lived there over 40 years. She's selling her house. She's actually sold it. She'll be moving in at the end of the week. So we're walking with the family through that. I say all that to say there's a lot going on with families, and we're there to help and give advice and assist and be there for them when they get better. And I think that's a great testimony to Hearthside. It's been there a long time, helped a lot of people. The lady that's moving in Friday, or end of the week, Thursday or Friday, she's the third resident of this family, so we've had a repeat customer 3 times in a row. This family has been with us a long time. When I first got there, his mom was there, then his uncle was there, and now his mother-in-law is moving in this week. So I think that's again a testimony to the staff at Hearthside and what they do and how they provide a great service to these families.
No doubt, the whole family's taking advantage.
Yeah, so I say all that to say, we walk with families through different circumstances, and we have a nice continuum of care here in Lebanon that people can get services and get back to where their baseline to get back to where they can get back to Hearthside, and that's always a blessing when they come back. We have several people, of course, that go out to rehab or they go to a psych facility to get their meds adjusted. It's not just their physical health that we deal with; it's their mental health as well, and we walk with families through those circumstances.
Well, I think it goes almost without saying, and I haven't been and observed this, but just in listening to you and others, we have that saying when it's time for a helping hand, and you have some people who really care.
Yeah, we do, and we have long-term staff there. I tell you, I really appreciate them. They are there day in and day out. I often think about those folks that come in at 11 o'clock at night and work till 7. They don't get the appreciation they deserve. I know it's 8 hours like everybody else, but not many people want to leave their house at 10:30 and get there at 11 and work and stay and serve till 7 a.m. and take a nap or try to get some sleep during the day. So I appreciate those folks, but all of our staff is wonderful, and they do care about the residents. Not only, several times we've had our independent living residents, something will happen down in the homes, and they'll call up to Hearthside, and we'll go down there and make sure they're okay. So, we're there for not only our assisted living residents, but for our independent living residents as well.
Well, I was just thinking as you're talking about the 11 to 7 shift, you don't have as many of those as you do with the other.
No, we don't have as many, but they're. Tell you what, they're very important because I don't want to work.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't want to work 11 p to 7 a. So I really appreciate them. They keep me updated by text during the night, so I'll wake up sometimes and see what's going on. But most of the time, it's pretty quiet, and that's a good thing.
Yeah. Well, maybe they don't have to work as hard.
Well, they really work between the hours of 4 and 7. The last part of that shift is very busy because a lot of our residents get up early. They're early risers. They're early to bed, early to rise, and they have to help them, with their maybe putting their clothes on or something like that. Maybe they get bathing and dressing in the morning, and they do the breakfast in the morning. So that shift is most busy. In the morning. But I tell you what, they do rounds. A lot of our residents like to be checked on every 2 hours or so. So we get that done, and families appreciate that, just to make sure they haven't fallen or something has happened. But that shift's very important.
All right. How about a Hearthside hello?
Well, I wanted to give it to T.A. Bryan. He was recognized yesterday. I don't know if you saw it on social media, but he was recognized yesterday by the Kiwanis Club for being a member for 62 years.
Oh, really?
Which is, think about that, 62 years as a Kiwanian, and that's something special. And Chelsea Nice, the president of the Kiwanis Club, recognized him yesterday, and I wanted to give him a Hearthside hello. That family's been good to me over the years, and I appreciate T.A. He's of course he's funny and just a great guy.
Right. Well, I could write a small book about him, but I'll just say a good selection.
Great. Well, have a good week, and good to be back.
All right. We'll see you next Tuesday. Sean Dozier, Executive Director for Hearthside Senior Living, 215 Castle Heights Avenue North. He encourages you to come by and pay a visit, but you can always reach him at the phone. Their phone number is 615-443-1994. Jeff Luttrell joins us this morning, Director of Schools. School is out. Jeff, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
You had a meeting last night,
we
right?
Did, yes.
A board meeting, a Wilson County Board of Education. We'll talk about that, but let's talk about school being out. How many graduations did you go to?
Several. We had the 5 high schools and our 2 adult, and then we did a ceremony in jail last week. Had some
I've heard some good things about that jail graduation.
Yeah, so we've been in graduation mode. That's one of the things we discussed last night. It was a big part of our meeting. This year, Wilson County, over 1,800 students, almost 1,900 students received their diplomas, and so it's been a good time.
Well, graduation's a special time, and but with so many graduating and not being able to have it at the school location usually, I think Watertown might be an exception, but otherwise you're somebody has to find out a place big enough to accommodate several thousand people for these larger schools' graduations.
Yeah, and we moved. Our large high schools have moved to Murphy Center.
Yeah,
in recent years, and that's been it's really been a good move because it allows everyone to get there and see it. And we were discussing that during those ceremonies. Lebanon High School, Green Hill, Wilson. I don't know who had the biggest crowd, but Murphy Center was pretty much full.
Yeah.
And so did that. And then even our adult program, have it at Fairview Church, and it was packed.
Yeah.
We did our BTA program was at out here at the Ag Center, and we had half of that, and we know that there was over, I think, 20-some hundred chairs. They were all full, people standing around the wall. So just a good time, a lot to celebrate, and it is a milestone, and it's good events.
Well, one other thing, we'll move to something else, but you had one at the jail, and that's got to be special.
It is. That's we've been doing that, and I guess during COVID that had kind of went away, but we're back in there, and our adult program, Ms. Sandy Anderson heads that up, her staff, and just tremendous to see people taking that opportunity to get that education, and that was a very special graduation as well.
And I understand for some of them, one or two especially, it was not only emotional, but very meaningful.
Very, very meaningful, and it's just good to see, and it shows how important education is.
Right. Okay, what do you want to talk about next? Last night's meeting? Or?
Well, yeah, it was just kind of wrapping up the year a little bit. We did highlight our graduates and all that they had accomplished. Of those 1,887, that's the number of graduates. They were offered over $54 million worth of scholarships. And probably one of the things we're proud about, 900 of those scholarships earned were based on their 21 or better ACT and that HOPE scholarship. So we're wanting to get over that 50% mark of students having a 21 or better on the ACT. So that's just a culmination of what your educational program's providing. And so that was a good sign. And we covered all that and discussed all that. And then we got into just regular normal stuff. Did report on our enrollment. We've got enrollment numbers now that we're finished. We're up 289 students from where we were at the end of the year last year. So that's the growth during the year. And interesting.
297?
289.
289. But still almost 300.
Almost 300. That's down a little bit from what we've been seeing. But one thing that was interesting as we looked at those numbers, 206 of those were K-5 enrollment. So that's younger students, which that means that population is just going to continue to build, and the numbers going up of students in Wilson County. Mm-hmm. So did look at that. Looked at our attendance for the year of over 20,000 students. Had a 94% attendance rate countywide, daily attendance. That's another good sign. And just wrapping up, you look at your data. We look at it all the time, but when you do it end of year, it kind of gives you a little different picture of what's taken place and what the future holds as we try to prepare for the next school year. Some other things we spent this month also with our support employees of the year, where we recognize at each school that classified person, that secretary, that cafeteria worker, that bus driver. Mm-hmm. We had that celebration also in May. And we reported out to that. And that's always a good event. Covered our retirees. We do have some people retiring. Not as many as we've seen in the past, but some people that have given their whole career. You spend 30, 32, 40 years in education in Wilson County. So we've celebrated with them. We reported on that. So this meeting was really just a wrap up of the year and getting ready to start another one.
You got many bus drivers retiring?
We do have... There's 4 retiring, but 2 of them are going to come back and work 120 days. And I will report the last week of school, we had all of our routes had a driver assigned. We've got some drivers we're training right now in the pipeline. And I'm proud of that. Mr. Hardaway's come in and his staff and team, Mr. Mayfield helps oversee that. We're in better shape driver-wise. We've been in several years. And so that's something we really spent a lot of time on. Tackling this year. Yeah. Still not perfect, but if everything holds and we keep all of our drivers, and for the first time we will have sub drivers available. So we've really made, I just want to credit my people because they've worked so hard, and we know there's been times, anybody knows Wilson County, we've had trouble transporting this number of students, but to see us focus on something and see our numbers get to where we're in better shape, that's really encouraging.
Okay, Jeff Luttrell, Director of Schools for Wilson County, is with us. We got to take a break right now here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks, Absolute Kubota. High performance, high horsepower, 0% financing is still a thing. Now is the best time to save on new Kubota L-Series tractors, rated number 1 for durability and owner experience in the U.S. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Wrapping up a couple of ranks out here. 1 Ellington Parkway. That's going to be right before you get down to Spring Street. As traffic starts to get heavy there, coming down from the top to the bottom there on Ellington Parkway. It's picking up with more volume through the Mount Juliet area westbound I-40 leaving Wilson County towards Nashville. It's also crowded, but moving. Let's keep it that way. 24 westbound through the Antioch area, headed towards Nashville from Murfreesboro. Princess Hot Chicken now has new items on that new menu. Check it out, princesshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on tight traffic.
What is your passion? How can you use that passion to enrich your community? Hi, this is Melanie Minter, President and CEO of the Lebanon-Wilson County Chamber of Commerce. Your chamber is the resource for making connections to fulfill your passion. Whether education, nonprofit, agriculture, entertainment, or government relations, Wilson County offers a place for you to be involved. Your chamber connects businesses, individuals, and your passion to the community. We have an enthusiasm for excellence. Join us and catch the spirit. Call or visit our office at 149 Public Square in Lebanon.
Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing has experienced new leadership and a new atmosphere. Same location in the heart of Lebanon, 731 Castle Heights Court on the Castle Heights campus. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing is providing 5-star clinical outcomes to short-term and long-term care residents. Call 615-444-4319 for a tour and to experience the new culture. Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us. Jeff Luttrell again is my guest this morning. He's the Director of Schools. You are telling me that you are at least going to have at least 1 week to get away from it all.
Yeah, we will. The week of 4th of July, I'll take a family vacation and look forward to that. But
you got a lot to do between now and then.
I do.
Well, let's talk about the tornado, the result. The school that has been replaced. Actually, there were 2 of them, but one of them took longer, and I think it's about ready to go.
Yeah, we had a ribbon cutting Sunday at West Wilson Middle. It was a very good event, well attended. Had to have it in the gym. There's so many people, probably 1,400 people, just an estimate. That we come in and did a little program and kind of revisited that journey. It's been over 4 years. From the morning that hit, and then opened up that building, let them tour it and see it, and see the results of a lot of people's effort, from City of Mount Juliet's commission to county commission and funding to our school board and everything they did. Just a very good event, and I think everybody would be proud of that building.
Will things be somewhat different from before, or will it be almost exactly like it was before the tornado?
No, it's a different plan.
All right.
It's similar, but it is one story. We're fortunate enough there to have enough land that we could spread that thing out. And, we tied on part of the building that was not damaged. There was one wing not damaged, the newest part. So we were able to tie into that. But it'll handle 1,500 students, 170,000 square feet, and really nice facility for a middle school, and just it was 15 months after the tornado before we were able to do the demo. Mm-hmm. So to get this kind of building up as quick as we did, it's really a testament to our construction crews, and R.G. Anderson was the company that handled the build on it. They got the bid, and then of course Katz Binkley architects kind of managed it. So just really came together nicely. It's a nice facility.
Well, now, you've had to do without this and improvise, but it's going to be in one way back to normal, but it's not going to exactly be normal because you're not going to do everything just like you did. You've got, I don't know where Green Hill fit into this. I think maybe you used some of that.
We did. We're fortunate, and we talked about that. Dr. Donna Wright was here when and had to make some tough decisions that week after, and so we had enough space with Green Hill that we did is we had to put students places. So our 8th graders, the ones that were going to, some went to Mount Juliet Middle. Those we had to move some of those students. We shared Mount Juliet Middle. We shared parts of Green Hill. We shared parts of Mount Juliet High School to house these students. And just a testament to teachers, administrators, and community and parents. I mean, just the patience they've shown to make that happen. So
and it lasted a little longer than you had anticipated in the beginning, too.
It did. So we're really glad to have our kids back in one building, and everybody will get their building back and their space back. And, what's that saying? No house is big enough for 2 families. And but I can't thank our administration, our teachers enough to make that work. And the amazing thing about that is during that time, our Mount Juliet Middle School has been a reward school. West Wilson Middle has been a reward school. So we continued on with the education process. So a lot to be thankful for, but we're excited to have everybody back.
Yeah. All right, we've got another school. I can't think construction has started, hasn't it?
It has. Legardo Elementary's coming out. Walls are up out there. We've had a lot of rain days here in the last month, but that's another project that we look forward to. We desperately need it. West Elementary, of course, that'll be the school that's impacted the most. Get some relief there. So we're hoping a year from now, but we'll just have to see. But they have started that project and it's moving along.
But if that comes off, then one more year. And then you'll have some relief.
We'll have relief there,
but that's a growing area to all of Wilson County. Just about growing.
It's a growing area. We got another project in the first phases. We purchased land on Central Pike in the Glayville community to get some relief there for Glayville Elementary plus Rutland Elementary. So where we're at on that, the plans have been approved by the board, and got word yesterday the fire marshal has approved those plans. For that'll be going out to bid, and then if the board accepts that bid, then we'll have to take it to county commission for funding. But that's another project that's in the first stages, but desperately needed as well too.
Well, a growing area like we're in, you just expect this, I guess. You have to plan for it, but it's coming. And if people continue to come, we're going to continue to have to build.
Yes. Yes. There's no other way around it. And unfortunately for us, if that tornado had not have happened, we would be kind of ahead of the game. But those plans had to shift because we had to receive some funding to replace 2 schools. That's unprecedented. You hear occasionally of a school being damaged, but 2 schools. Again, I just want to thank the County Commission, Mayor Hutto. Everybody through this process has done everything we need to do to make sure that our kids have educational facilities. And
I think that the quality of education is maybe even improving, hasn't deteriorated. COVID might have been a little deterioration, but other than that, seems like we're on the move.
We are on the move, and we regained our learning loss pretty quick from COVID, and we're this week looking at some data. We're starting to get data in, but yes, we feel strongly that our what you want to look for is that steady growth in outcome and educational results, and we're there. We feel like we're a top 10 district. Just the data says that, and a lot of people recognize that. But we got to continually move forward. That's what you don't want to happen, is for that to stop and you have a big cliff. And we don't see that. And that's a testament to our teachers. And, another thing that's happened this month, our budget has moved through Education and Budget Committee will be going to the full commission here this month, and that budget is a budget that is balanced, no new local money. The TISA money's helped us. It includes a 5% raise for our teachers. It's approximately 15% the past 3 years teacher raises. Our classified will get a 2% raise. So a lot of positives and a lot of maintenance money in there. We're you build these schools and you have to maintain them, and we're doing some roofing projects. So a lot of good things happening, and I think everybody can be proud of the budget. Our commission so far has been very supportive of it. So a lot of things going on in Wilson County schools, and we got a lot to be proud of.
How are we doing on retention of employees? And I'm not talking about just about teachers, but clerical workers, maybe janitors, custodians, cafeteria. We're doing okay there.
We are. Right now, we're looking this week at some numbers, and HR gave a report last night to the board. We really feel like we're in better shape today than we've been in my 3 years as director. Still got some areas that we don't have enough certified teachers, but overall, we're getting more applicants, and I think that's due to what people are seeing in this area, that we are supporting pay raises, trying to get our pay up better. So we feel really good right now. That could change over the summer because this time when teachers move, but we watch this data all the time, and we're getting more applicants. With the growth of people moving, there's also teachers moving here, and we want to make sure that we've got a package we can put on the table where they want to work in the county they live.
Jeff, you and I don't talk an awful lot about sports, at least on the air. Sometimes during the break we might, but elementary or middle school and high school sports, and there's so much more, I think, available now than there was years back. I mean, and of course, people get tired of me saying when I was in high school. That was so long ago. we had football and basketball, and I think my senior year we started a baseball team at Lebanon High. But there's so much more now.
There is. I mean, just we've approved in this budget. We're adding lacrosse at 2 of our schools, 2 of our high schools, and then last night the board approved. We're adding flag football, girls flag football, at each of our high schools. They will start that process this fall. It's an emerging sport through TSSAA, and it adds to the whole concept of what education is, and that's one of the things that is attracting people to Wilson County. We offer so many opportunities for students in that area. Our fine arts program, we're adding a fine arts coordinator. I don't know if you've ever had the opportunity, but if you ever do, I encourage everyone. Our chorus and our drama productions, our band productions are just tremendous. And this is kind of what has developed in Wilson County since I've been here for 30-some years. It's known for giving students opportunities, and that's what families want, and that builds a stronger community. And so, but the sports piece is, we're doing some maintenance work on some fields. We're looking at having to work on some fields, and it costs money, but it's part of it. And at the end of the day, though, that's what drives these results we're getting that we talked about earlier.
Well, I think wrestling has come a long way. There's a golf team in some of the schools, some of the high schools.
I think every school has.
But even soccer, how popular is that, or how much are you doing with that?
We are. That's one of your most popular sports now, and you can see in our youth and our community, what they've been able to do out there on 231 with those fields. So, and you mentioned it. We even start that in our middle schools. So these programs are just ever growing, ever expanding, and it has come under the umbrella of education. It's a good thing.
Well, obviously you want your education, you want book learning, for lack of a better term here. That is very important. But the other interaction with others and part of maybe learning how to get along. Sports, I think, goes a long ways in that, and in all these sports, not just football and basketball.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, even in the business world today, you hear people talk, and I hear people talk, looking for soft skills, not just the academic skills, but the soft skills of employees. And people recognize there's no better place to learn those soft skills in these organizations, whether it be sports, whether it be drama, whether it be a CTE program, a club. You're learning how to work together as a team, and it's a valuable part of education.
All right, we've come to the end of our time. Thank you so much for being with us. You're going to be back right before the 4th of July. I think you've got a board meeting at the end of the month. I believe that's right.
That
anyway, you're going to be here.
Yes.
I think it's on a Friday morning.
Yep.
But we'll see you then, and then after that, it's your vacation.
Yeah, that's right.
Thanks for being
Thank you,
with
Coleman.
us. That's it for a Tuesday. Join us tomorrow for Coleman and Company. Till then, I wish you a terrific day.